Before the gods of Olympus ruled the sky, their father ate them. One by one, as each child was born, he swallowed them whole. This is not a horror story. This is the founding family of Greek mythology. And to understand the gods, you first need to understand the crime they were born into. In the beginning, the Greeks said, there was chaos. Not disorder, emptiness. A yawning gap where everything would one day exist. Out of that gap came Gaia, the earth herself, and from Gaia came Uranus, the endless sky. Together they had children, 12 titans, beings of unimaginable power. And already the family pattern begins, because Uranus despised his own offspring. The strangest of them, the one-eyed Cyclopes and the 100-handed giants, he shoved back into the earth's depths, back inside Gaia. She was in agony. So she forged a sickle of gray adamant, gathered her children, and asked a simple question. Which of you will punish your father? 11 titans looked away. Only the youngest dared to answer. His name was Cronus. That night, when Uranus descended over the earth, Cronus was waiting in ambush. He maimed his father with the sickle and cast the pieces into the sea. Uranus retreated to the roof of the world, and Cronus took the throne of everything. But power seized by violence teaches an ugly lesson, and the wounded sky left a prophecy behind. One day, Cronus, your own child will do to you what you did to me. Cronus believed it. He married the Titaness Rhea, and every time she gave birth, he took the newborn from her arms and swallowed it whole. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon. 5 children, alive, imprisoned in the belly of their own father. When Rhea was pregnant a 6th time, she went to Gaia and begged for a way to save this one. Together they set a trap. The baby was born in secret and hidden in a cave on the island of Crete, nursed on goat's milk, guarded by warriors who clashed their shields whenever he cried, so the sound would never reach his father. In his place, Rhea wrapped a stone in swaddling clothes. Cronus swallowed it without even looking. The child was Zeus. He grew up in that cave knowing exactly who he was and exactly what had been done to his brothers and sisters. When he was grown, he returned to his father's court in disguise and slipped a potion into the king's cup. Cronus vomited up the stone, and then, one by one, 5 living gods, fully grown, furious, and free. What followed was war. 10 years of it. The young gods against the Titans, a battle so vast the Greeks said it shook the roots of the universe. Zeus freed the Cyclopes from their prison in the deep, and in gratitude they forged him a weapon no one had ever seen before, the thunderbolt. The 100-handed giants joined him, hurling 300 boulders at a time. The Titans broke. Zeus cast them down into Tartarus, a pit so far below the world that an anvil dropped from Earth would fall 9 days before reaching it, and he sealed them behind bronze gates. Then the 3 brothers did something remarkable. Instead of fighting over the world they had just won, they drew lots for it. Zeus drew the sky, Poseidon drew the sea, Hades drew the world of the dead below. The earth and Olympus, they agreed, would belong to all. It is one of the only peaceful transfers of power in the entire mythology, and it is why Hades, for all his dark reputation, almost never appears on Olympus. He simply went down to his kingdom and stayed there. On the peak of Mount Olympus, above the clouds, the winners built their palace. 12 thrones, 1 family, and absolutely no idea how to live with each other. Start with the king. Zeus, lord of the sky and thunder, keeper of oaths and guests, the closest thing this family has to authority. He is also, by any honest reading, the worst husband in mythology. His affairs with goddesses and mortals produced half the heroes of Greece, and most of the plot. Which brings us to the queen. Hera, goddess of marriage, is married to its most famous violator. The Greeks gave her a savage kind of dignity. She almost never punishes Zeus, because she can't. She punishes everyone else. Heracles, Io, entire bloodlines, hunted for the crime of being loved by her husband. Poseidon rules the sea the way the sea behaves, generous one day, drowning you the next. When he strikes the ground with his trident, the earth itself shakes, which is why the Greeks called him Earth-Shaker, and prayed to him before every voyage. Hades, the eldest brother, is the quiet surprise of the family. The Lord of the Dead almost never leaves his kingdom, keeps his word, and runs the one realm in the cosmos where the rules are actually enforced. The Greeks feared him so much they wouldn't say his name out loud. They called him the Wealthy One instead, because everything buried, gold, silver, seeds, and everyone, eventually comes down to him. Then there are the children. Athena was born when Zeus swallowed her pregnant mother, and the headache that followed was so unbearable that his skull was split open with an axe. Out stepped a goddess in full armor. Wisdom and war in one person. Strategy where her half-brother Ares is slaughter. Ares, for the record, is the god the Greeks respected least. Even his own father tells him, in the Iliad, that he is the most hateful of all the gods to him. Loving war for its own sake, the myths keep saying, is not strength. It's a defect. Apollo and Artemis are the twins. Apollo, god of light, music, healing, and prophecy, the most Greek of all the gods, beautiful, rational, and petty when wounded. Artemis, goddess of the hunt and the wild, asked her father for eternal independence when she was 3 years old, and got it. No marriage, no city, no master. The moon and the mountains were hers. Aphrodite, in Hesiod's telling, is older than all of them. When the pieces of Uranus fell into the sea, the water foamed, and out of that foam she rose. Desire, in this family, is literally older than order, and every god on Olympus, except 3, answers to it. She was married to Hephaestus, the smith, the only ugly god, thrown from Olympus as a baby and lamed by the fall. He built the palaces, the thrones, the thunderbolts, and walking tripods of bronze, the first robots in human imagination. His wife betrayed him with Ares. He caught them both in an unbreakable net of gold and invited the other gods to come and laugh. They did. Hermes was stealing cattle from Apollo on the day he was born, and talked his way out of it so brilliantly that Zeus made him the messenger of the gods. He is also the one who walks souls down to Hades, the only god welcome in every realm. Demeter, goddess of the harvest, is the reason the Greeks explained winter the way they did. When Hades took her daughter Persephone below, Demeter simply stopped the world from growing until a deal was struck. Persephone spends part of each year below and part above. When she rises, it is spring. Last comes Dionysus, god of wine, madness, and theater. In many tellings, gentle Hestia, goddess of the hearth, gave up her throne so he could have a seat, because someone in this family had to be the reasonable one. 12 thrones, 1 buried brother, 1 father in a pit, and 3,000 years of stories. That is the machine of Greek mythology. The Greeks understood something better than almost anyone. They did not build their gods to be perfect. They built them to be us. Jealous, brilliant, petty, brave, vengeful, loyal, magnified 1,000 times, and handed thunder. Every myth that follows, every hero, every monster, every curse, comes out of this one impossible family. And their stories are just beginning. If you want to know your gods, your monsters, and your legends from the inside, stay close. Mythling is where the old stories wake up.